who took down both Furious Gaming and Flash Wolves to get here into the group stage. Who should we be keeping an eye on here, Riku?
Oh, for me, it has to be Long, right? When we look back at the WRL, he has the most MVP titles. And imagine there's so many amazing junglers in the WRL, and Long has the most MVP titles. And he can play anything, he can accelerate the game, and it just propels Nova so easily to, again, do the WRL special to accelerate, be fast, be aggressive. And I think that's what Leviatán has to watch out for, because he is definitely scary.
He's got a long record of success.
Yes, he does.
I think one of the other players that you have to watch out for is Remake, who sits at the bottom side of that map and plays very well on Ziggs. The Varus is kind of that quintessential ranged carry player that the WRL has wanted all season. He's very good at fulfilling that role, sitting at the back of the fight, pumping out damage. And if you want to win fights against a WRL team, but especially Nova Esports, you need to be able to get onto that Ziggs. You need to be able to shut down Remake.
All right, on paper, they both sound great, but who has the edge here, y'all? Prediction time. I think this one... This one's pretty straightforward.
So,
I think so.
Bam!
Yeah, BAM! Nova Esports for me, definitely.
Nova Esports.
You know BAM?
Bam! Nova Esports.
Yes!
I think this one is a Nova Esports
Yeah.
sweep all the way as well.
No
we got
BAM?
the last one right.
No BAM?
No,
All right, on three. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Bam!
Nova Esports.
Boom. Match 2 is about ready to get underway. So we'll see. Grandin, Hell's Devil, take it away.
Bam!
Bam.
Bam!
Bam! Nova Esports. And Leviatán.
Bam! Leviatán. Just me.
Just you.
Just me, I guess. I'm alone again. I was alone with Queso, now I'm alone with Leviatán as well.
Lots of BAM.
Hopefully it's not the same story, though.
No, yeah, I mean, we'll hope for you. We'll all the best.
Maybe Hell's
Just
Devil.
maybe.
Just maybe, Hells.
Well, what happened to the jacket, you guys? Getting hot in here.
Yeah, that last throw took a little bit, man. I was like, started sweating. I was like, oh, T1's going to come back here? And I was like, all right, I'm sweating. I'm just going to go with the straight black here.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Well, a lot to look forward here. I'm sure Hells, I mean, you've been talking so much about Leviatán coming into this series up against Nova. We've seen them play a bunch now at this point. WRL established very strong. How about Leviatán? What are their chances?
Yeah, so WRL is a region that took a game from Nova because Furious Gaming did take a game. Although they lost the series, they were able to take a game. So, you know, that gives a little bit more hope for Leviatán as well, as it's the same region. We tend to see that the same regions are having a lot of the same playstyles as well, which I find very interesting.
Well, it makes sense. It only makes sense, you know, proximity, you know, the interaction between these teams, and that's what ends up happening.
Although one thing about Leviatán that is very special about them is their Baron laner and Rock loves to play champions that are super tanky, right? Like the Malphite, which suits his name very well, it's Rock as well. The Garen, the Shan. So if there's one thing that's very unique... There's one thing that's unique about Leviatán, it's going to be that Baron laner who likes to play those super duper tanky champions and just tank everything for his team.
Okay, well, I'll put a footnote in that. You know, Andron plays a lot of tanks. I just want to ask you a question. Hells, as a content creator, when your jokes are this bad, how many times do you have to watch it when you edit this?
I don't edit it. That's the thing that I do. If I rewatch it, I will never upload it. So that's why casting is fine. Just don't watch it back. I make my stupid jokes, but...
Life moves on. Life moves on.
Let me give you something interesting, however.
Okay.
Long, who we've said is probably the best jungler already. He played 5 games, and he played 5 unique champions. That's amazing, right? Like, he played 5 different champions. He played Echo in the jungle, he played Fiora in the jungle, he played Kha'Zix in the jungle, he played Wukong, and he played Jax. So, you're up against one of the best junglers in the world, and he's proven it, and you cannot even ban anything against it.
Yeah, I mean, just such an amazing pool. You think about like what happens here with WRL teams, the 4 protect 1 strategy where the rest of the team plays really just to try and enable the jungler, right? Get him ahead, have him play his own game. Now you see these teams walking on stage on your screens right now. Cool walkouts.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, the weakness that Leviatán is going to have is the Olaf is definitely going to get banned. Because that's the one champion they really, really enjoy playing with their playstyle, right? Have a lot of tanks, have a lot of enchanters, and pick the Olaf with it. I can guarantee you right now, Nova is not going to allow that. They're going to ban the Olaf, and whatever Leviatán picks, Long is going to counter out in the jungle. Like, it's just incredible to see this player excel on so many different kinds of champions. So it's going to be a rough one for Leviatán.
Yeah, Nova coming in here, having done their homework against Leviatán. Get rid of that Olaf, start to whittle away at the jungle pool. And we'll have to see how Leviathan intend to respond after that, as picks and bans coming your way very quickly. We have a couple expectations, right? We just saw an incredible game from Team Flash, but T1 nearly managed to turn it around, and we're holding on for a very long time.
Yeah, and this could potentially, I don't want to get hopes up, but this could potentially be the very first Malphite game we see. As I said, Leviathan loves it, Androck loves it. I love watching Malphites as well. It's just, a lot of people say it's a boring champion, but I find it very interesting. Interesting. Leviathan bans out Lee Sin. This doesn't do anything. Jace. Nova bans Jace, because this is another champion Androck loves to play. Besides the tanks, Jace is honestly the only carry that Androck has played, besides all of the tanky champions.
Right, just such a strong pickup. You have to be able to play it, and I think that's what Androck has been trying to do as well. You say that Nova you cannot ban away Nova's jungle pool, but I see 2 jungle bans right now.
And I don't like this from Leviathan, because sure, they ban out the Lee Sin, sure, they ban out the Kazakhs, but and they ban out the Olaf, but what about the Jax? What about the Echo? What about the Wukong? What about the Fiora? What about the Camille? Etc, etc, etc. It doesn't matter. I actually really don't like this draft right now from Leviathan. They could have been banning out a lot of different champions. Nova also banning out the Jax. This is just a jungle massacre right now. Andy and Long really asserting their dominance within these teams by showing who is the star player on each team.
I mean, you said Andy was going to look for the Olaf, but he banned it away himself.
He banned it away himself. Again, I find it very interesting. Corki pick, you know, this makes sense. This is a very good priority pick. You can get that Hull Breaker, the Corki package, and the late game scaling. This champion has it all, so it makes sense that these teams pick him up as first.
Yeah, the Corki coming in here for Leviathan is a safe option, whereas Nova, I can only imagine wanting to go for the jungler now, you know, a little bit earlier. Yeah, probably the Lucian as well, you know, very common response to that. The Yuumi first pick.
Oh, I found that interesting, Brandon. This is gonna be a hyper carry composition potentially, because they do pick the Yuumi. There's a lot of picks open though, like the Thresh, like the Rakan, right? These are champions that can shut down a Yuumi, so it's interesting to see Nova actually picking Yuumi first.
I'm just so like engrossed by the AR with the Yuumi. It genuinely looks cute on the AR, but I do not like playing
She's not
with
cute. I would beat her up. I would not want you. I'm joking. She's so cute.
Else.
I would probably not be able to do that, because she would attach to someone, and someone that she's going to be attaching to is indeed going to be that Lucian. I am actually
Nice
expecting.
segue.
Yeah, right. I picked it up pretty well. So remake, it's probably going to be Lucian on remake.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting a mid lane Lucian right there, because Yuumi Lucian is an incredible combo to have. It's an incredible hyper carry combo. There it is, the set. This could be going on Billy in the support role, or this could be going on Androck in the Baron lane role. You won't know. Ooh, and that's a Riven.
And the Riven's still one of those champions that can still flex in the jungle, so potentially, you know, Leviathan are still leaving things up right now, not trying to commit too much. Nova have to work around that.
I'm honestly just interested what kind of jungler Nova picks. So actually, Nova decides to go for the Renekton. You know, it feels like they know Leviathan goes for those tanks. Renekton does really well into the tanks. He wins the early game against them, and he can snowball his lane. So I don't think it's going to be a Riven in the Baron lane. I just don't think this is Androck's playstyle. So let's see what they pick. Let's see what gets banned out. But as I said, I'm super interested to see what Nova actually plays in the jungle.
The champion pool is shrinking quite a decent amount.
Fizz is actually a champion Lumesh loves to play. Interesting how Nova done their homework. They've done their homework. Yeah,
of course.
They are really respecting Leviathan right there. You can clearly see it, because they actually ban out of Fizz. And there it is, the Echo ban. They don't want, Leviathan doesn't want to see Long on Echo.
Are Leviathan really going to spend all 5 bans on the jungle?
They could. They actually could. Are they really just going to ban out every single one in the jungle? But I'm sure Long is still going to have a different champion that he can pick. Like, that's the beauty of him.
You can still play something like the Xin Zhao, something like the Jarvan, whatever you want to try and go for.
As well.
Wukong
So
as well.
many. Yeah.
If you want to hypercarry, play the Fiora. But point being, Leviathan, they are really driving Nova into a corner now. Nova, while their options may be more limited, they still have a deep champion pool.
Are they going to do it? Is Leviathan going to do it? I mean, what else can they ban? Wukong, I guess. The only one that I can think of that they could potentially ban is the Wukong, but you still leave open a lot of junglers that Long can play. You can't ban out that. It's another jungler, but it's a Rankar ban.
A little bit surprising. We've seen the WRL play Rengar a couple of times, especially when the top jungle picks were removed. But in general, Rengar hasn't seemed to be as popular, but Leviathan will commit to the jungle pool ban.
There's still so many different junglers open. I just don't quite get this draft by Leviathan. It's hard for me to say because I'm the analyst caster, but I don't get it. I seriously don't get it because we just talked about it. Long plays everything. You can't ban out anything against him. Kha'Zix is open. Camille is open, as you can see. There's just so many different champions open, and now he gets the Camille in the jungle, which is a great champion. And that is actually his 6th unique champion. Long has played 6 games, and he's picked in every single game he picked a different champion.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, House. I think the best way we can go into this game with is say, Leviatán have decided there's one way we win this game, and that's if we take away every comfortable champion Long has ever played, and we force him on his 6th unique champion, and we try to win the game from that.
Exactly. So let's see how good Long is on his 6th unique champion, right?
Alright.
Like, let's see how good he is on yet another champion. So that's a cinch pick. You talked about it earlier from another team.
Yeah, with Coyote, that's something they'd like to try and go for. Works very well when you have a lot of melee options, but against range options, it's very difficult, right?
Definitely. Fiora got changed. She does so incredibly well against melee champions, but she struggles against ranged. Talking about ranged, I'm expecting a ranged pick from Nova right here. A ranged pick that deals massive damage like the Morgana, I guess. I was gonna say Orianna. Morgana does somewhat similar things. And yes, this is the pick Nova needed. They need that range, they need that late game teamfight utility with the slows, with the Leandries, with the anti-healing. This is how Nova can win the game against Leviatán.
I mean, when you have the Black Shield as well, it just makes it so difficult to hold down the Lucian, right? There's no way that you're going to be able to find the set coming in, the face breaker. There's no way you're going to get the flip off.
It is the mid lane Lucian, however. That I don't like, because when we see mid lane Lucians, we see them go for the hole breakers, the black cleavers, you know, the tankier type of
side lane off somewhere else.
Exactly, and that's not what you want to be pairing up with a Yuumi. So even though Nova is playing that Lucian in the mid lane, I do want to see them actually go for a full damage Lucian this game.
So hopefully Nova make that adaptation, especially since we see Leviatán here with a very high damage composition of their own, the Fiora, the Riven, rest of the team coming in here with some good crowd control as well that Corki does quite well in a lot of these games.
Oh yeah, definitely. Corki with his package as well, being able to deal with anything in a team fight, having that advantage during early game objectives. Like, Corki is just such a solid pick for Leviatán right now.
And it has been the Corki, the team with the Corki that's been winning most of the games, whereas the Lucian has not been.
Unfortunately, Lucian has not done as well. And again, like Lucian mid lane paired with the Yuumi and paired with that composition that Nova drafted, I'm curious to see how they play it out. I'm curious to see how the Lucian is going to be building, because I still think he is going to go for that hole breaker, because you kind of need it, because when you're split pushing, you're not going to be able to deal with anyone in a 1v1. Like, Lucian generally struggles into that.
Well, game 1 coming into this one, we need to see if Leviatán have a game plan to shut down the Lucian, shut down Nova. They've already gone into picks and bans saying Long is our biggest issue. We need to deal with that. They've taken 5 bans to remove away Long's champion pool.
Oh, I would have actually loved to see Lumesh skill his 3rd ability there and just instantly flash on 9, but I can't even talk. There's a fight.
Leviatán with amazing preparation against Nova will know their game plan starting this one off. Go into the jungle and take the flash away from Long.
Amazing start. Andy is invading the jungle during the perfect moment. Oh, this is the aggression Leviatán needs. And I mean, look at this. They're in the middle of the jungle of Nova right now. And I feel Nova cannot do much about it.
Yeah, Nova can watch the rip buff. Is going to start whittling away, but Lumesh nearby draws attention away from Nian. You see Long once again being pulled away. The Ignite comes through. Androck and the rest of Leviatán take away the red buff, and you can only see Hisa take his time walking over.
Wow, Leviatán with a perfect invade right there. Nova could not do anything. Just such beautiful, beautiful play by Leviatán right now. Early game aggression, making sure they're already taking away farm from Long. They understand that Long is the guy they need to go on, right? Like, they understand this is the one guy that cannot get fed in the game, and they just took his red buff. So he's not going to be able to do as much damage in this early game right now.
I'll tell you what, Hells, what they have done is definitely poked the sleeping tiger, right? Like, this is Long. Long just wanted to have a chill early game, you know, do his thing, pick up some golden EXP, and Leviatán said, yeah, none of that. We're going to go into your jungle. We're going to fight you. Poking the tiger with the stick. We'll have to see if Long is able to turn that one around and give some revenge in this game.
And Grandin, I actually want to quote a different jungler right here, which is Andres Set from Queso.
Sure.
I asked him a question once. You know, everyone focuses you. How do you deal with it? He says, I got used to it. I know. It's just, you know, it's just another day in the office for me. I feel Long has to adapt to that as well. I feel Long has to understand as well, hey, I am the star player. Everyone is going to be focusing me. I have to be able to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely, right? And especially as we keep moving into the competition, that's the way things are going to be. Long tries to find his revenge on the bottom side. Remember, Billy, when you used your flash to get a kill at the top, try to get a kill at the top side. This time, no flash. First blood over the Nova.
There you go, and he does do it. Nova sitting on a lead of 1,000 gold, even though Leviatán pulled off that very, very nice invade. Long was able to get a gank, and now it's actually Long that's ahead in gold.
Well, Long gets his revenge. He gets the last lap in the end, right? You saw Billy go over, use his flash in the top side, trying to go into the jungle, trying to get a pull onto the Camille. Well, Long finally gets it on his end.
Oh, Yize. Not falling for the bait from Androck right there. But yeah, Long is invaded, or sorry, Long is taking his jungle right now, and it's him being ahead, even though he got invaded on. Like, you can just clearly see how good these players are. Like, everyone was focusing Long. The entire draft banned out his champion pool. Leviatán invaded his jungle, but yet he's still 300 gold ahead, and he was the one that got first blood for his team.
Very quickly, very rapidly find their way back into the game. Now we see Yami in the top side.
Interesting. Interesting that Yami on that Yuumi would rotate to the top side. I don't think he can do much as a Yuumi. It's not like he's playing it's not like he's playing Rakan, Leona, or Alistar. These are champions that can gank very well. He's playing Yuumi.
Yeah, definitely something different. You don't have that hard engage. Issa as well, going to have a difficult time trying to hold the Fiora down.
I'm just curious to see what the hell 9 is going to build on that Lucian, because I keep thinking about who's Yuumi going to attach on in the late game, because Yize on the Renekton, sure, he's going to be tanky, but it's not going to do that much damage. Long on that Camille, you know, it can happen, but again, it's not the type of champion you want to have with a Yuumi. And then 9 on the Lucian, that's the one champion, but yeah, he is actually going for the Hullbreaker.
Yeah, Nien is looking for the Hullbreaker now, and judging for the way things are going to go, should be able to find it quite soon. Andy comes in with a beautiful stun, locking down Issa. Issa's going to have to get back on the turret. Then we see Hextech ultimating come across Long here to clean up the kill. Trying to find the first one, then goes sweep. With one kill up to the top side, Long picks that one up.
And it's Long again. Yize surviving with 1 HP, but unfortunately Andy is not surviving with 1 HP. Long is just always at the right spot, always doing the right thing. And he's already participated in both kills in his team. This jungler is just unbelievable, Grandin.
I mean, honestly, a good job well done by Leviatán to actually find the kill in the first place onto Issa, right? But then not being able to get
They actually didn't get the kill. That's the beauty. He was at 1 HP.
Not being able to get the kill hurts them so much there.
Oh, like, their gank was good, as you said, right? Like, Leviatán is making good opportunities, but they just aren't able to execute it properly. But then you have Long, who does execute it perfectly.
Almost 1,000 gold up, by the way. Has a Triforce.
Crazy, right? How is he 1,000 gold ahead? He got invaded. All his champion pool got back. He's 1,000 gold ahead. And then also Remake on that Morgana. He's also sitting on a 1,000 gold lead. And even though Leviatán has that Corki right now, I feel Nova can take this fight.
Package picked up here by Leviatán, so maybe this is the opportunity to start the fight off.
They're trading objectives, which is okay, you know. They are still up against that Corki. Why would they fight if they don't have to? They get the Cloud Dragon, which is an amazing dragon, especially for Long, by the way, because it allows him to rotate faster. It gives him movement speed.
Being able to move faster, giving them a little bit more space
Long is
there.
coming.
And the late game option, especially with the Elder Drake coming up, while up the top side, Nova is in a spot on treble. Lob shots are going to be used as they try to use the package to try to hold the Renekton in place on the turret. Remake running over as quickly as he can. The Renekton's still alive by so much time. Androck will go down to the Tormented Shadow. A double kill for Nova, a 1 for 2 in the top side.
I'm not quite sure why Yami did not attach to Yize right there. That could have been a quadra kill for Yize on that Renekton right there. It seemed like Yami on the Yuumi was perhaps a bit scared to attach to Yize. I know after that initial moment, it was the Corki package that held him back, but in the beginning, he could have definitely attached to Yize, and they could have won that fight right there very, very easily.
Well, they will make the safer play. Still works out in the end, but like you said, maybe it could have been a quadra kill.
It could have been a quadra kill for sure, because Remake was there as well on that Morgana. Yize was just playing it so passively. Yami was playing it so passively because he didn't want to give too many kills. He was like, sure, Yize dies, it's okay. But Yize didn't die.
But Nova still get 4K go up. So they're going to be happy about this one, I'm sure, as they do also find first tower in the bot side, despite not having Rift Herald.
Oh yeah, they get first tower, they get the dragon. Like, Nova is just playing a better game right now. And Leviatán did finish off a lot of important items. We can see 4 finished items, but then on the opposite side on Nova, we see 5 finished items. And especially Remake on that Morgana, building towards his second item already. Long on that Camus, gonna be building towards his second item too, because he's sitting on like nearly 6k gold, as opposed to the 3.8k gold by Andy.
So I do want to start bringing up a point. You know, while we have talked a lot about Long on the side of Nova, you've also been a big fan of Leviatán coming into the series. I'm looking towards Android right now because you told me he's come in here, he's played a lot of tanks. The Jace was his main carry when he had to be the carry, but now he's playing the Fiora. Is this an upgrade? Is this a skill up for Leviatán, or is this a departure from the original style?
It's not working. It's not working for them. I mean, he's just not able to work it out. And when you play a lot of these tanks, you know, your playstyle revolves around being a tank. And then, you know, when you have that one champion that you play as a carry, which is the Jace, it got banned out. I just don't think Leviatán should be playing this Fiora. They're not really playing towards their strengths. As when you put Androck on a tank, he's gonna do a beautiful job as a tank. But when you put him on the Fiora, you're gonna give him a tough job to carry on a champion that he's not that he doesn't really play that much. Oh, he does see this coming though.
Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Rift out in the mid side, and Nova not in position to try and prevent this. And he's going to be around preparing for his knockup.
Long is coming as well.
Billy starts running away. Rest of Nova start to collapse in. They're going to take the set down. First set still has a showstopper. Going to try and pull them away. Haymaker going to be used, giving them a big shield. Remake gets knocked back here, pulled away by the Singed. Easy dives them on the turret. The Renekton trying to look for their first kill of the fight, but Nova Esports happy with the turret. Remake nearly getting taken down by Andy. Andy tries to dive into the mid side.
Leviatán just doesn't have enough damage. Oh my god!
Huge engage by Long. Gets the flash in with the hookshot. Takes down Lumesh.
Long is fearless. I mean, 1 versus 4 gets a kill and gets out. This guy's crazy. This every champion was banned out against Long, by the way.
Yami comes in, gives some support over to Ita. Androck flashes out of danger.
Wow. I should stop talking about Long. Let's actually do that. So let's talk about the WRL as a region overall, right? We talk about them. They're always ahead in gold, regardless of what the game goes, regardless of how the game goes. Right now, 9 minutes into the game, Nova is ahead by 7,000 gold, which is a massive gold lead. We can see leads everywhere, and then the Baron lane is the least lead. I actually expected the Baron lane to go very badly for Leviatán, but Androck seems to be doing fine. And the reason is, by the way, Androck is pushing. He was pushing turrets, he got that top lane turret, so he secured that gold for himself.
Right, giving him some space, you know, he didn't have to worry so much about being killed, being dived. But a lot of action has been focused towards the top end when we saw Leviatán with the Fall Man taking down Ita. But it is in those moments as well that we still see Nova fight back and trade beautifully through good, solid macro. I think Leviatán really have to catch them with something off guard.
And now it's going to be Long with Yami on that Yuumi as well. It's not just Long you're dealing with, it's a buffed Long. It's Long to the power of 2. Because he has a Yuumi attached to him. You know, if Long wasn't scary enough, Yami on that Yuumi is going to be attached to him as well. He's going to be giving him the buffs, going to be giving him the shields, and then with that Death Dance on Long as well, it's going to be delaying damage. Whenever Long gets damage, he's going to be healing right back up.
And so you asked the question earlier, who does Yami attach to? Apparently the answer is Long. It doesn't matter what he plays. It's never wrong to hyper carry, hyper buff Long apparently.
And it's funny, like Nova seems to adapt their drafts and adapt their playstyle to like a Long hyper carry playstyle because they picked the Morgana, they picked the Yuumi. These are all to funnel Long. We've seen this happen with Team Queso as well. In their respective region, it worked incredibly well for them. There is a weakness to it, however, because you know you have that one player. If Long dies, then what is Nova gonna do? But the thing is, he's not gonna die, right?
He's just never gonna die.
Right.
Nova Esports are gonna keep him alive at whatever cost. Dragon started out for a second there, but Leviatán very quickly in position again, trying to wrestle control away from the Dragon Pit.
Nova still has their mid lane turret as well. It's sitting on a very low amount of HP, but Nova is gonna take this fight too, right? Like, they don't care. They don't care that they have a whole breaker on Lucian. They're still gonna take this fight because they should be able to win this very easily. Sitting in a comfortable 8,000 gold, this is just a free Dragon.
Yeah, Leviatán just really don't have any way to get into the pit right now. They don't have any instantaneous engage, not without the package.
Yeah, and Nova is not giving anything to Leviatán right now. They're taking everything. Like, you see a lot of teams, you know, they try to compromise. Like, sure, we can give the Dragon to Leviatán, we'll take top lane turret. But Nova thinks otherwise. Nova is taking every single thing. And it's not like, it's not only them taking it, it's also them denying it from Leviatán. Because Leviatán does have a very strong late game composition with that Singed, with the Corki, right? Like with the Fiora and Riven. But when you take every single Dragon, every single tower, like everything as Nova, you're not going to allow Leviatán to get to that late game.
Yeah, absolutely, right? You just keep squeezing them out the jungle. You know, you really deny them a lot of the golden EXP, and that's a big part of where this gold gap comes from, right? Because, frankly, 1 in 5, that's not a lot of kills, right?
Yeah.
You have a 4 kill advantage, but somehow you still see an 8,000 gold lead for Nova. A lot of that comes from being able to deny waves, deny jungle.
Yeah.
Dragon is just an extension of that.
It's just everything. Like, indeed, jungle, waves, a few kills, Dragon, like everything. Nova is just playing the everything game. They got everything, they're not giving anything to Leviatán, they're just denying so much gold. Because if you actually look at gold per minute, Leviatán hasn't been able to get much. Like 8,000 gold in 12 minutes, that's not, like that's the average of Leviatán, and that's not a lot of gold for them. Oh, we see Nova going for a push as well.
This is interesting. They might be able to find a catch here onto Androck. Androck does manage to use the repulse, but still goes down. It's A difficult spot for the Fiora to play from Nova Esports, using their Rift Town and playing phenomenally well.
Lumesh, your team is losing the base. You cannot be split pushing on that Singed. You have to go back.
He's got to get back, but he's not making his recall in time. The Rift Tower will find a second charge. A second turret over to Nova, their 5th one of the game.
Oh, this is a tragedy for Leviatán right there. They're just getting absolutely rolled over by Nova. Man, this is crazy. This is the number 3 team from China. This is the number 1 team yet again from Leviatán. We saw the number 1 team from Europe already get destroyed. We're seeing the number 1 team from the WL get destroyed. We're gonna see the number 1 team from the WNS get destroyed later today as well. What is happening with China right now?
Firing shots, throwing shade. We're not even at that point of the day yet, and Health is already going at the WNS.
I'm sorry, Grandin. I have to go on someone after EU lost so hard, and Andy's trying to look for something, but it's just not working.
Lost Chapter comes across in the mid lane, a fight breaks out, but Nova Esports are the ones to go in, the aggressors to start this one off. Long flashes forward, looking for the catch onto Andy. The face breaker will prevent that from happening.
Long is just sitting on full HP. He's not even taking any damage. It's just crazy. Like, there is honestly absolutely no way Leviatán wins this game. Unless this game goes to like a 30-minute game where Lumesh gets a full build Singed, where Kite gets a full build Corki. And even then, like, how do you deal with Long on that Camille? You know, when Camille's kills harder in the late game than a lot of different champions.
Oh, T1 managed to do something.
T1 managed to do something, but T1 was not against Nova. This is a whole different beast of a team.
All right, let's see how this one plays out. He's looking for the solo kill onto Kite. Kite will go into stasis, but the Ignite not able to finish off the kill. The Renekton still in the mid lane has his flash going for him. Nian starts to rock in, looking for the culling, looking for the kills, and a double happens in the mid side. Meanwhile, on by the side as well, and he falls. Nova Esports points to take game number 1.
I mean, look at this, Grandin. It's just nothing from Leviatán right now. Leviatán is just getting absolutely rolled over. This is their debut to the stage, but they just got absolutely destroyed by Nova Esports.
A strong demonstration here from Nova as they take game number 1 in the series between Nova and Leviatán.
Oh yeah, and the question is, can Leviatán make the comeback? I mean, again, this looked like a whole different kind of a beast of a team. Like, how do you win against a team like Nova? Obviously not by banning away Long, because you're still gonna lose to Long. You have to accept that.
I have only one thing to say in response to that, Hells.
What is it?
Bam, Nova Esports.
Oh my God.
That's it. That's all I have. That's all I have.
That's all you need. That's all Nova needs, apparently.
But I do admire the attempts here by Leviatán. They came in here, obviously have some kind of game plan and tried to take down Long. Unfortunately, you just cannot hold him down like you mentioned from the beginning.
Honestly, it just feels like it's every single region against China right now. It's the Wild Rift icons, but it feels more like every region is just trying to beat out the WRL, because WRL teams just seem to be next level. They're not even breaking a sweat. Like, Nova honestly didn't even break a sweat during this game. This was just another day in the office for them as well.
Yeah, you can tell from how calm and collected Nova Esports are right now that they were in control from the start to the end of the game. Leviatán definitely did have some interesting moments going into the jungle of Long and trying to deny and steal away the red buff, but ultimately able to recover really well. Well, we're going to toss it over to Bam Digon, Bam Riku, Bam TJ on the desk.
Bam! Bam!
Bam! All right, I'll join as well.
Yeah, you're gonna do it.
Go,
Bam,
go, go.
Hells.
A clutch bam from Hells.
Last second.
It was very last second.
You almost lost the opportunity.
He almost did. Welcome back to the desk here after that game 1 win by Nova. And although they had control later on in the game, very, very unique. First time we've seen a successful invade here by Leviatán to set Long behind in the jungle, and it was a full team effort here by Leviatán, but eventually fell off at the end there, TJ.
I liked that Leviatán came out swinging, and we saw over the course of that game what did look really good for them, which is legitimately WOL teams not only are good mechanically in fights, but are incredibly well coordinated in fights in a way that I think most of the Western regions aren't. And you could see them even in like the very end of the game when they're retreating down the mid lane with basically no hope of winning it. They're down 10k. Billy on the set is like putting together plays. They had a really fun set ult onto a singed ground that was followed up by a double face breaker.
Yeah.
And I was watching, I was like, Riku, if they are not down 10k gold, that's a team fight right there. That's a win maybe. So I like what Leviatán are bringing. Unfortunately, Nova did what Nova want to do and kind of took them apart on the map.
Yeah, And they were very unfazed by what happened in the draft, right? You guys talked about the jungle invade onto Long, and it all started at the draft. They tried their very hardest to restrict the jungle pool, but it's Long. He plays everything.
Yeah, he definitely plays everything, and I think that first kill there was pretty telling because so many resources by Leviatán were spent to put Long behind that once that first gank came in by Long, they were still down 600 gold before the kill came on in. First blood came on in, all of a sudden you're 1,000 gold down, and it doesn't feel really good to play the game on the bottom side of the map anymore.
Yeah, the Camille, incredibly powerful at exactly that. One of the things that really scared me with this Camille, like not only, like you said, they tried to ban everything out, and then they ended up with this Camille, and it turns out the Camille was like perfect for this game because Long had so much increased mobility on the map that he was in every lane simultaneously.
Yeah, and it's just so easy to catch someone, right? Once you start a fight, Hextech Ultimatum, you get Kite, you get anyone. The fact that everyone from Leviatán was super squishy, it's just so easy to basically layer all your CC. The fact that they had Morgana plus Yuumi, my word. The final chapter, Binding, you're just gonna stuck forever in the ground.
Yeah, difficult, I think, position to be in after you gamble it all in the early game. You really gave a fantastic, I guess, curveball that Nova needed to solve, and props to Nova, they did solve it. Long and the rest of the squad could have stayed in there and tried to fight for those early camps that they had no business fighting for, and they had the wherewithal to understand, no, we have to give this up. This is a good play by Leviatán. We'll shake the hand here, but then we'll punish elsewhere on the map.
The sun setting over a ski slope. An orange sunset behind a blue mountain.
Keep
How
going,
poetic,
TJ.
how poetic. I would like to
I'll listen to your radio play.
Yep.
Rough times for Leviatán.
Yeah.
That's how the radio play ends.
Yeah, I mean, there's still that game number 2, right? They've already made an attempt on Long's life, basically early game, but at the same time, they have to up the defense, right, on every single lane to make sure that turret plates, that deaths do not happen, because I feel like that's the first step, getting Long. Second step, stabilizing that early game.
And the secret to doing that, right, is knowing where Long is going to be and responding to it. And sometimes that response is, okay, well, we have a deep ward, we know Long's headed to the top side, we're going to match him there, we're going to 3v3 and we're going to win, which I think Leviatán legitimately could do. They have good enough mechanical players. The other thing they could be doing that I want to see them doing is, okay, Long is in the top side, let's take a turret down bottom while he's distracted.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see them counter-punching on the map, especially with a draft like this, with a Singed who is so good at rotating, with a Fiora who is so good at side laning, and we saw an absence of that.
5 bans in the
5
jungle.
bans.
5 bans
And
in the
even
jungle.
more. Yeah, 5 bans.
5?
I thought me even more.
No, there's only 5 bans on a side.
That's true. I was like, even more. Well, wait, that's not right.
No,
Yeah.
5 bans on the side. They didn't pick Fiora first, right? So
Yeah.
they went with the Singed first before they went with the Fiora. So it wasn't 6 takeaways there, but 5 takeaways on the jungle pool, which is a massive, massive blow. And I feel like the game plan was clear. Didn't work out. Does Leviatán have another, I guess, game plan in their sleeve? Because obviously that was a very pointed one. It was very clear what it was, but we're going for more team fight afterwards. What are you trying to do other than slow down Long here, the MVP of the WRL, having all of them, as you see him jumping down, staying loose.
Hyping the team back up.
Yeah, getting that morale back up because, they were
Legitimately
doing.
good call. Legitimately just very good coaching to see that.
I think Leviatán just, again, you got the stage nerves out. That was your first game. Nova's already played multiple different series again.
Yeah.
So make sure that you, shake that one off and come back with a game plan here. But I think that also speaks to Nova because it felt like no matter what Leviatán tried in the early game, there was always an answer, whether it was the invade and then the answer with the gank on the bottom side of the map, where Remake gets the kill on the Morgana. Then on top side, they try the 4-man dive onto Iza on the Renekton, and Iza bought enough time that although he did die, they got 2 in return, plus the split push gold on the bottom side of the map. It felt like such a difficult position to be in for Leviatán, who is having their aggression, which is what we were hoping for, turned against them.
I really think they need additional damage. Like, if they want to do what the other teams that have been doing to battle WRL's early game, which is, again, set up dives. If, just as TJ mentioned, if you see the enemy jungler Long at top side, go try diving the bottom lane, get a 4-man dive, and because the Corki, I feel like it's not going to be enough, Fiora is going to scale later into the game, so add an additional damage carry that is very strong early to mid, and for me, the first champion that comes into mind is the Lucian.
But the Lucia got banned away.
That is true, though.
Lucia got banned away in the first 3, I think. Was it
Yeah,
for the first 3?
there's so many. I feel like the
By Nova.
focus on jungle bans is gonna leave a lot of carries open for sure in the next draft.
And this is oftentimes how, like, you're not going to be able to ban out Long,
Yeah.
right? He's always going to have another pick. So, yes, get rid of Lee Sin, probably. Yes, pay attention to
Yeah.
that stuff. But I would also say there's no world in which Camille should get through the draft and be handed over to Camille and Yumi should get through the draft and be handed over to a team as good as Nova, because those are like the power picks right now.
So then what is the ban that you would take away? Because we did see Olaf banned on in there. I think there was Jax that was also banned on in there. What is one that you would take away in terms of it?
Like, I would say all of that. Like, you're not going to be able to force him onto a pick that is meaningfully worse, right?
Yeah.
Get rid of Lee Sin because it's a power pick, because they play exceptionally well with it. But also recognize you're not going to be able to ban out enough junglers that he's forced to play something he's bad at. That's a side effect of how good Long is, and a side effect of how many junglers there are in the game.
Yep, I think that's the scary part, right? I feel like you can ban definitely the Yumi because it just fits so well on a lot of the junglers that Long plays in general. The fact that he plays a very scary Jax Yumi is also pretty scary. So remove the enchanters to make sure that Long doesn't survive as long in the fight.
I do like that they tried that. Well, 5 bans in the jungle,
Yeah,
invade at level 1. All right, Long, let's see what you got. It was like, oh, okay, he's still able to have an impact on Camille. Surprise, Camille. Pretty good champ. Yumi, pretty good champ.
I also want to, like, just acknowledge something, maybe a little depressing, but that's my job here. Like, the goal here from Leviathan, I don't think can be to beat one of the best teams in the world.
Yes.
Right? I obviously would be very exciting for Leviathan if they pulled out a win, but the conversation should also be what markers can they hit against Nova? Because being real, in most of these groups, every team other than the WRL representative is competing for the second slot. So if we can see Leviathan get a game win, look good in this game, that's very good, and that should be a win alone.
Yeah, especially the fact, right, when we look at the play-ins, it was Furious Gaming getting that defeat over against Nova in the series. So big win for Latam for sure. And of course, you know, Leviathan wants to do definitely the same.
Well, we'll see if they're able to do so in just a little bit. You see the players now on stage after their short break. Nova, more the same. Leviathan, game plan change. Let's see if they're able to do it. It's time for game number 2, which means it's time for our casters, Grandin and Hellsdep.
Bam.
Wrapping it up, hearing the little bams at the sign, the little bams from the back from TJ and Riku, as we are getting hyped up and ready for game number 2 between Leviathan and Nova Esports. Leviathan need to step it up or step off the plate. There they will face off their opponents in the lower brackets. Nova are very ready to keep this one going. We saw a dominant game number 1. Can they continue in for game number 2?
Yeah, and the question is, right, like, can Leviathan win a game against Nova? That was just crazy dominant. Long right there, you know. Please, Leviathan, don't ban out the junglers again. You can't. You just, like, you know, in a situation like this, you just have to deal with it. If you cannot do anything about it, just deal with it. Ban away some other things and try to come up with a good composition yourself. So let's see what approach Leviathan is going to take again. Are they going to ban Lee Sin again? Or are they actually going to ban a Senna right now? Which they should against Nova Esports.
Yeah, if they do ban away the Senna, takes away a really powerful bot side duel with Remake and Yami. Gives them a lot of safety, especially when you have Long as a hyper carry later on.
Leviathan,
The
what are you doing?
frustration, I wish you guys could see Hells right now.
It doesn't
He's so
work.
frustrated.
It doesn't work. You can't. You can't. Please stop banning the junglers. Don't do it again. Ban out some of the other champions. Like, if Leviathan bans out those junglers again, this time it's Nova on the blue side. They can just pick up a Senna. They can just pick up the Corki. They pick up those power picks and just win the game again. On the other hand, it's actually Nova banning out Androck. We talked about it again. Jace and Shan. Androck loves to play those champions, but there's still a lot of tanks open, like the Garen, like the Malphite that we talked about. But again, Leviathan banning out the Olaf.
And honestly, we saw from Androck his ability to hold his own against Isa, especially when he had a pushing lane. He had the Fiora to the Renekton, just kept the lane stay even, right? He was the one with the smallest goal difference throughout his team and just kept his wave pushed out. Gave a lot of space to him and the rest of his team in the top side. Whereas Leviathan now are going to try and double down. They're going to work with the Lee Sin and the Olaf bans. You wanted to see the Senna. Will that happen here? The final ban for Leviathan.
It has to. Like, there's just absolutely no way Leviathan bans out another jungler and leaves open the Senna. Like, you just can't. You really can't leave open so many different picks and just focus. Yeah, there it is. Exactly. So Leviathan does ban out the Senna. They just don't want to deal with that. wow, they didn't ban a jungler. Whoa!
Leviathan, with the preparation done, identified the center as another pain point, and we see how well the WRL teams are able to play with that. Now Nova have first pick. Would it be the Corki, the Lucian, or something else entirely different?
Yeah, so Yumi is open indeed, as you were going to say. Corki is open, Lucian's back. I don't think Nova's going to pick a jungler, because they don't care. Like, whatever jungler they pick, Long is going to do well. They do, actually. I got proven wrong.
Could be the parent side as well. I mean, we won't... Well, it's a flex pick, so that's your saving grace, right?
It probably isn't, because Long is playing the Jax, and it's not a unique pick. He played it before, and he absolutely dominated on it.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, so interesting how Nova prioritizes the Jax. They really, really wanted to get the Jax, which is a late-game scaling champion. Yumi is also open Grandin. The question is, when you're Leviathan, can you give away Jax and Yumi? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think Leviathan definitely need to make a decision right now. The Corki comes through first, but they still do have that one more pick, so Yumi potentially taken away, but you still have the Lulu, right? There are still other options if you really want an enchanter to go with the Jax.
Like, that's the thing, you just can't outdraft Nova, it feels like. They're so good at so many different kinds of picks. Like, you gotta create your own kind of draft. Leviathan has to play to their strengths, they have to funnel into the jungler as well, they have to put Ant-Rock on the tanks. So let's see what they actually pick second. Are they gonna leave the Yumi open? Are they not gonna leave the Yumi open? What's it gonna be? Lucian
comes
as well.
through, so they managed to get the Corki and Lucian pairing. And a really big note we have to add in as well. Leviathan have subbed out Billy. Yunhao will come into play instead.
Oh, it's a new support, yeah.
And so Leviathan, big change in place now. They've left open a Yumi, but they've managed to pick up two of the most highly contested picks in the Icon so far.
But Brandon, the problem that Leviathan has right now, this is a Lucian Dragon lane and this is a Corki mid lane. You can tell that right now, because normally when we see a Corki and a Lucian, you don't know. And oh my god, Nova coming through with the Zed in the mid lane. And of course there is the Yumi, man. I feel bad for Leviathan right there. They have to deal with Long on the Yumi again.
Long, you have to deal with Long with the Jax, with Yami with the Yumi, and you also now have to deal with an additional threat with the Zed.
Oh, there it is, the Garen. Finally, Leviathan picks their power picks. This is what Android loves to play. It's the Garen. Don't put him on a Fiora, put him on those tanks. So it's going to be interesting to see how he faces up against Yizhe in that Baron lane. I am expecting a Renekton ban from Leviathan because we both know how good Yizhe is on the Renekton. And if there's one champion that can stop a Garen in the lane, it's a Renekton.
It is a shame though, you know, the Garen has been a pick that does decently well. It's been one of the responses against the Zed in the mid lane, but like you mentioned, the Corki and Lucian just show too much, honestly. You know, you just have a very clear idea of what's going to go where.
Exactly. I feel that's not a good thing for Leviathan, because like now now Nova picks the Zed because they know it's probably going to be a Corki in the mid lane. Zed does very well into Corki. You know, it's just... I just don't, again, I don't like this draft from Leviathan right now. They're giving away so much. Sure, they're picking more power picks right now, but again, like, what do you do against the Jax and a Yumi, especially when Long is playing it?
Final bans out from Leviathan. They're going to take away some of the safer AD carries. Stuff like the Varus removed here. Nova still have quite a few options they could go for. Have to round off the compositions. They recon the final ban here against Leviathan.
So, granted, what Leviathan has to do now is they have to pick single target damage champions. I don't want to see any Ziggs. I don't want to see any AoE champions.
All right.
I want to see single target, heavy single target. Even a Fiora. Like right now, a Fiora is like the best pick ever. These are the types of champions Leviathan needs to pick. Thresh. That's okay, right? Like you can catch a single target. The reason I'm saying this is because Long is going to be a Yumi on top of him. He's going to be the one guy that you need to kill.
So Leviathan getting closer to being able to deal with Long, with the Thresh. I am a little concerned though. I'm still a little bit concerned, right? You have a good amount of takedown, you can still deal with one of them. But what happens when Yin comes online? He's in your backline. He's taking down the Corki, taking down the Lucian.
Exactly, right? Like, the one thing Leviathan wants to deal with is Long, but then you have 4 other players as well. We haven't even thought about that because Leviathan is not even able to get through one of the players. So, indeed, how are they going to be able to deal with 4 other players? And there is a Camille as well. Just a lot of power picks from Nova right now.
A 4 Protect 1 composition coming through.
Oh, and a Morgana too.
For Nova Esports.
Oh my god.
And a 5 target one on the side of Leviathan against Long. But the question is, can they deal with the other threats?
This is crazy. There's a Morgana as well. How the hell are you going to kill the hyper carry from Nova? It seems like Nova found their comfort pick. It seems like Nova found their comfort playstyle. And that's a Wukong from Leviathan.
AoB crowd control. We'll round off the final pick for Leviathan.
Brandon, sorry. I thought it was a Corki in the Baron lane because he swapped very, very late, but never mind.
Scared you for a second.
It scared me.
Not sure how Corki does against Camille. I don't imagine very well. I don't imagine very well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But it needs a Corki in the mid lane, it's a Lucian in the Dragon lane, so you can see it coming, right? Again, like, I don't think Leviathan has the tools to deal with Nova. We'll see, though, because you never know. But again, the Morgana and the Dragon, that was such a huge problem for Leviathan as well to deal with. You know, Remake just doing such a phenomenal job on that Morgana. He was up like 3-0 very, very early on in the game on a Morgana who is a late-game champion.
If you think about what happens here between Nova and Leviathan, Nova are coming into this ones as the favorites, whereas Leviathan, making their debut into the Icons Global Championship, are looking for a win and to set a statement against the WRL team, saying we are here to play and we are prepared to take you down. They've come in with preparation, with homework. Game number 1 went the way of Nova Esports, but game number 2 could be different.
And the region itself, the WRL Latin America, has done pretty decently against the WRL, right? Like, we've seen Furious Gaming, they took a game against this powerhouse of a team, right? Like, and then the question is, can Leviathan do it as well? And coming as the representative, the top 1 team from Latin America, like, this is the team you want to see win, right? Like, you saw how upset I was when Queso lost. And the reason why I was extremely upset especially is because that's the #1 seed team. So let's see how the #1 seed team from Latin America does as we get into the game.
Well put, the Hells. Game number 2 between Nova Esports and Leviathan starts here, and Leviathan, no fancy invade this time around. None of that necessary. We're gonna go play a staple game and we see what happens.
They learned from their mistake, right?
Well,
They
actually,
learned
a lane swap, so maybe.
a little fancy, but not too fancy, because you cannot be too fancy against Long. That was actually very good. Lumash right there popped the vision, and now Leviathan knows exactly where Long is. So that could be a good start of the game, because when you know exactly where the enemy jungler is, and when you know exactly where the enemy jungler started, that could be a good thing for Leviathan.
Being able to know where they're going to come from and what to do in those positions are 2 separate things, though, right? So, despite now knowing what's going to happen on the side of Nova, can Leviathan accurately respond to this? And we actually see...
There it is. Yeah, you see that? That's what I talked about. Leviathan knows. I love this, because Leviathan knows that Long started all the way in the bottom of the jungle. Long did not start at the red buff, so that's why they're invading and taking a free blue buff.
Taking the blue buff away. Long trying to trade back, I believe. Making his way into the blue buff side of Leviathan as well. Isa walks over, trying to scout for some information. Takes a good amount of damage in the process.
I love this a lot, actually, from Leviathan. This is really good to see, because now Andy is going to have a lot of jungle to pick up. But then while I'm talking, you can see Nova compromises.
Wow.
They're just completely pushing out Androck off his wave. Androck is level 2, by the way, sitting on 900 gold.
Yeah, this is a little brutal right now. And Yen picks up level 4, starts to deal more damage. Lumesh does have the range advantage, but somehow it seems like Nien just does so much against that.
Look at Androck. Look at Androck. He's gonna get ganked right there. He's sitting on level 2 under his turret. He's just desperately trying to survive.
He picks up level 3, but gets hit by the exhaust, looking for the binding, but they don't quite need it. Still tanking up turret. Yami gets first blood over the Long.
Oh my god. And that's just Androck dying right there. And he cannot do anything. Leviathan tried to do the same thing, but unfortunately it didn't work too well for them. I mean, look at the turret. The turret is just dead for Leviathan.
And he still has flash. Yen starts to walk over towards the top end. He's looking for a targeted death mark onto the Thresh. Unha takes the shurikens, but will survive through it. Still too tanky for Nien to deal with.
Brandon, that's a 2-minute turret. Nova, so I
that was a 2-minute turret?
That's a 2-minute turret. I said that Leviathan did a good job because it was a good invade, but Andy is behind 1k gold again. And Long was able to get a whole turret for his blue buff. I mean, come on, I'm just done with this team. They're just way too good. I mean, Long just knows every single time exactly what to do. He's up 1 kill. He's 1,000 gold ahead. He took a whole turret for Yize, and they're 2,000 gold ahead just because of Long.
You come up with a new novelty, something to play against Nova, and then Nova show you why you don't do that. Why does the gameplay, the game plan that they've set forward is the best one? Because they know how to deal with all these other novelties.
And it's also the rotations, because Remake on that Morgana and Yami on the Yuumi, they were both in the bot lane. They lane swapped. They lane swapped just to make that lane a living hell for Androck right there. And as you can see, it worked, because Long ganked that one lane and they got the whole turret.
Wow. Androck can't catch a break here. Still level 4 now, while the rest of Nova Esports silently encroaching level 6 territory.
It's just lane swap after lane swap, because now it's Yize and Yami on the top lane, and we can see Nyan on the bot lane, and we can see Remake in the mid lane. It's just Nova is all over the place right now. Leviathan doesn't even know what they're dealing with right now.
Nova Esports will take control of this game once again. They did it last game, they're doing it now again. Andy trying to find his way back into the game. You got his first blue buff, but what happens now, Andy? What happens now?
I was being so optimistic for Leviatán, but it's like I forgot that they're dealing with Nova. I forgot that they're dealing with this powerhouse WRL team, which is Nova, who hasn't lost a single series yet. And it's just crazy to see these guys play. It just truly shows you a whole nother level of Wild Rift. And me as a caster, I'm just being thoroughly entertained by the gameplay of Nova right now.
And it is a treat to enjoy, right? Yeah. Being able to see how well Nova is able to execute against a team. You know, Leviatán coming into the competition, they're no slouches by any means, but against Nova demonstrates how to play good, effective Wild Rift.
Man, I have to message my friends. I have to message Keys to play some duo queue. I gotta play jungle, because I'm just getting motivated by Long right now. You know, but when I try it, it doesn't go as well, unfortunately. But seeing Long play jungle, it just makes you want to play jungle, because it just makes it look so easy. And there he goes again.
Beautiful stun onto Kite, but Kite going down very quickly. Another kill going over the Long. They're chasing after Yunha, looking for the strike. They jump on Death Sentence, landing onto Long. But
nothing.
Andy comes in, doesn't get anything done.
It doesn't matter. Andy comes in with his ultimate. Long is full HP. Yizhe is nearly full HP. It's just Leviatán cannot do anything. And I honestly feel bad for Andy, because when you're playing against this beast of a jungler, there is just nothing you can do. And yet again, Grandin, Long, this time in 5 minutes, Long nearly doubled the gold of Andy. It only took him 5 minutes this time.
Shuriken's not able to hit. Flash expended by Nian, and so you start to see Androck chasing after the kill onto the Zed, but the Living Shadow will come up soon. So you want to back away. The Rift Herald picked up in this time.
And that's the Rift Herald. Dragon is still up, right? Nova is going to be going for turrets as well. They already took the first turret. Yet again, it's just Nova running away with every single objective in the game. And Leviatán is just lost right now. They have no idea what they're dealing with. Like, I feel when they got into this series, they were like, okay, you know, sure, it's a Chinese team, but we're the #1 seed. But this is child's game for Nova. They're just absolutely rolling over Leviatán right now.
Dragon up as well, and Nova holding off on picking up the Dragon. They're trying to pull Leviatán in. They know the Infernal Drake is too tempting, and they have to send someone to check.
Oh yeah, but no one can. I mean, Andro cannot do anything in that situation. So let's talk about how Leviatán could potentially win this game, right?
All right.
They have Androck on the Garen. This is a champion that does true damage. If Leviatán is able to get Long to a low amount of HP, Garen could finish him off with that ultimate. So regardless of a Yuumi, regardless of damage reduction, regardless of anything, Garen can finish off a target. So what it's all going to be about for Leviatán is getting Long to a low amount of HP. But I mean, just as we say that, you can see, look at those bonks from Long right here. But that's 3 against 1.
They do have the man advantage. The Exhaust comes through, and they finally managed to take down Long. But after the top side, things aren't looking as great as Noah Esports. Dive Lumesh facing off against Ita, facing off against Yami. Hashtag ultimate is going to be used. The major strength of the Corki is his mobility, and Ita escapes with his life with the dive.
Wow, come on. Yizhe should have died right there. But that was the example, right? Like, that is the one way Leviatán can kill Long. Get him to a low amount of HP and click on the Garen ultimate. That's it, right? Easier said than done, of course, because that wasn't a full-on 3 versus 1. But in a team fight, like, if Leviatán is able to get a catch on Long, that's why I said they need the single target champions, right? Like, if they get a Thresh hook and then Lucian goes on to Long as well. Lucian has a Kraken Slayer too, so he's going to be able to deal that true damage and shred through the resists from Long. That's how they could potentially kill him. They need anti-healing as well. They just need so many different things. But if all the stars align properly, if every single thing goes well, Leviatán could take a fight.
Well, Hells, when you said it, somehow Leviatán got a kill, so I think you just have to keep saying it over and over again.
Oh yeah, I can just keep talking about it. Like, it's exactly, they got that kill on Long right there. But, you know, Long is the type of player, he understands, right? Like, sure, I made a mistake. It's not going to happen again.
Yeah, you punish him one time for it, and he's going to realize what he needs to get done the next, this time around.
And Grandin, I just want to talk about an item right now, which is the... I cannot talk about an item because we have a dive. Whew!
Lumesh, once again, almost dived here.
Nova is crazy. They're diving turret after turret, getting objective after objective. Just no chance for Leviatán to even do something. No chance for me to speak. It's just crazy. Like, they're going to keep extending right there. What is Lumesh going to be able to do right now?
Yeah, they're just going to have to watch as this tournament gets sieged up. The package is up, so maybe Leviatán want to pick that up so they can go and fight again.
Look at that damage. It's just Andy cannot do anything against Long. So an item that I wanted to talk about is the Ishtali Seajar, right? Yunha has picked up the Ishtali Seajar. I actually asked someone who knows a lot about the game, which is Mozilla, the coach from Rix.
Right.
Why is everyone... Oh, but they get the catch!
Catch over onto Long, but the question is, can they finish off the kill
Boom,
quickly?
there
Now
it
the answer is
is.
going to be yes. Androck coming in clutch for the team. The Rip Tower was used in the mid side as well. They're trying to prevent it from getting his charge off, and will be able to do so. Smite comes down from Leviatán, a kill onto Long, and the Rip Tower taken down.
And that's why I love the Thresh pick. Oh, what is happening? But that's why I love the Thresh pick. That is the one way you can kill Long. But now, let's talk about the Ishtali Seajar. I asked Mozilla, the coach from Rix, why is everyone building this item? Is it really because of the passive? He gave me a very simple answer. No one cares about the passive. The item gives you so much health. So if everyone is asking right now, why is everyone going for the Ishtali Seajar? The simple reason is it just gives you so much health. It's the cheapest item in the game as well. I believe it's like 2,400 gold. And then the passive is like a little bonus. Sure, it can give you a little bit of vision, but that's why you see so many different supports pick up that Ishtali Seajar. Because Yunha on that Thresh is going to be incredibly tanky right now.
Yeah, so many stats, incredibly stat efficient. The Seajar provides a lot in that regard. Gives you a very early power spike. And so using it to great effect. Yunha has been quite a pivotal part of this game so far. They're trying to clear out the wave and will be able to do so. Leviatán looking close to a kill there.
Unfortunately, Yunha is unable to get a lot of catches, although, right, the two good catches he got was on Long on that Jax, but he's not been able to hit as many hooks as he should.
An aggressive move here as they flash in for the kill. Yunha taken down. You've taken down our Jax one too many times. Now it's our time to return the favor. A catch here on the Androck, but Androck has too much tenacity. There's no way to hold Garen in place.
Remake on that Morgana, man. He's hitting all those roots. He's hitting everything. Look at that damage from the Yuumi as well. That's a support who just dealt 40% of Kite's HP right there. Like it's nothing.
That's the power of AP Yuumi. You don't need to do anything else. There's no justification beyond. We're here to do damage. That's the way to play the game.
Oh my god, it's crazy. Like Nova Esports, yet again, giving no chance to Leviatán. Currently sitting on an 8k gold lead. The jungler, yet again, Long, double the amount of gold of Andy, yet again. That's like, it's the craziest thing to say, but he does it twice in a row.
Silently farming up a storm before you've noticed it. Nova already at that 8,000, getting to that 9,000 gold lead very soon as well.
Yeah, and the next dragon is spawning as well. It's just Nova taking every single objective. We see Yize in the Baron lane as well. He's probably gonna be applying some pressure. Actually, it seems like no. Again, this seems to be a thing with Nova. They're not really applying a lot of pressure on side lanes. They're always just grouping up and making sure they take every single objective in the game.
And that might work in their favor as they manage to spot out a couple of members in the mid lane. Kite's gonna have to start moving away. The Lost Chapter comes through. The Lucian goes down Long. Looking for the entry angle again, but the counter-strike will expire before it can happen. Jumping onto Yunha. Waiting out the flail. Long times it beautifully.
Man, you know which player Long reminds me of? Huiba.
Oh.
The jungler from DKG. He also used to play a Jax like this. But when he used to play, there was no Yuumi.
And now, that second option up just gives way too much power to Nova Esports. We see here the Camille, Isa will take down his counterpart. Androck trying to flash away, but it is the tactical sweep that takes the kill in the end.
So yeah, like Long seems to be the new guy. This seems to be the new power jungler, right? Like look at this. He's full HP. He's killing everyone. As I said, like this feels like the new Huiba. Nova is playing around Long, and here he goes again.
The junglers in the WRL cannot be underestimated, cannot be talked about enough. Watch as they rush down Leviatán. 12 minutes in the game.
This is crazy. This is honestly crazy. The fact that the third seed of China just demolishes the first seed of Latin America. This is just like, it feels even crazier than the Horizon Cup, because we did see some teams do decently against China, I guess, but now it's like everyone is just getting absolutely destroyed. And Long, I believe Long is trying to triple the amount of gold of Andy at this point, because he's beyond doubling the gold from the enemy jungle right now.
He's making it a mission to get triple. Man, we don't talk about that else. We don't talk about that.
I honestly never even thought I would ever state this. The fact that a jungler is possibly gonna triple the amount of gold of the enemy jungler. It is possibly happening this game right now.
He would have to be full build.
Yeah, but he nearly has 4 items right now, and he has 1 item, Grandin. One
Difficult
item.
spot here for the Wukong. Nova Esports have Baron in their grasp, and Leviatán can only watch and try and pry it away. But here we go once again to get a catch onto Kite. Kite will be locked in place. Uses the hourglass, goes into stasis, dashes away in the nick of time. Package comes across. Lumex looking for the fight entry angle, but won't be able to get the lockdown onto Isa. Isa gets to get away. Long moves in with the counter strike. Now diving them again. Androck taken down by Nien.
Yunha did actually get to hook on Long, but the Morgana Black Shield denied it. So like, Nova has every tool at their disposal to deny Leviathan's engage. So even if you do catch out Long, he's still gonna have a Black Shield. Like, this game feels honestly unwinnable right now, unless you get a really lucky catch. As I said, all the stars have to align properly for Leviathan to win this game right now, because this is a Baron for Nova right now.
15,000 gold up over the counterparts. Nova Esports are looking for the Baron here, and also looking for the win angle as this game going very much in their favor.
So Brandon, let's actually quickly rate the Chinese team. So we have, first we have a Coca-Cola pop-up hour before we can do that, which is the very important team fight here for Nova Esports. Before that Baron, you can see there was a good stasis enchant, that was a great stasis enchant for Leviathan, but it doesn't matter. When you have Long with the Yumi, here you can see it, right? He goes in stun so many people, he has a Black Shield on him, boom! Hook gets denied, so it doesn't even matter that he gets hooked. Long is gonna run them down, and his team is gonna allow him to do it. So, what I was talking about is, let's talk about the Chinese teams, right? Like, which Chinese team do you think is the best? Do you think FPX is gonna be the best one, or do you actually think Nova or JD Gaming or any of the other teams can be better?
I still feel like at this current point, I have my money on FPX, if that is the case.
We just haven't seen their full potential yet, I believe. We're gonna see JD Gaming as well later today. Like, all these teams just feel incredible.
Long unstoppable at this point. They get the catch once again on the Kai. Kai will go down to the combined efforts of Long, Remake, and Yami in the bottom side. Long starts to flash in, taking down Andy as well. A second kill going over to the Jax. A third kill going over to the Jax. They go into the base, ready to end it here. The Nexus is exposed and open. Leviathan go down. Nova with a quick 2-0.
GG easy. That was a 21,000 gold lead in 15 minutes. Yet again, one of the WRL teams absolutely humiliating a #1 seed. Europe was first, Latin America was next, and America is on, or North America is on the radar as well, Brandon.
Well, we'll have to see what Immortals have in store for us there, as Nova Esports do manage to give us the expected outcome, the 2-0 win. Leviathan have still some time here to try and regroup, recollect their thoughts, and figure out what needs to be done moving forward.
Leviathan didn't quite have what it took to beat out the WRL teams, but this is definitely not over for them. This is a double elimination, which means they have another chance. But they have to win every single series now, because now it's just life or death.
And of course, our victory selfie moment here for Nova.
Yeah, you can see it. Another day in the office. They don't really care yet. I feel like we're gonna see the emotions from the WRL teams later on in the tournament. When they get into the top 8, top 4, that's when we'll see emotion. You know, this is just getting there for them. It's nothing. Like, they're just weeping through everything and everyone. It doesn't matter up until they come up against their own region or against the SCA region, perhaps. That's when the real challenge begins for these teams.
Yeah, how do we get to that point though? How do teams prepare against teams like Nova Esports, who look so good, look so dominant? Long coming into this one. You tried banning out his jungle pull, it didn't work. You tried banning out strong plays against Nova, didn't quite work as well.
Nothing worked. Absolutely nothing worked against Nova, and it's just crazy to see. Like, it just feels like it's such a massive hurdle to get through this team, which is Nova. Like, how do you beat them out? I just don't quite get it, because every single player in their team is just so incredible. Their drafts are incredible. It doesn't seem like they have a flaw in their team.
But I'll tell you what, Hells, what I do know is someone's going to figure it out. One of these teams is going to figure out how to take down a WRL team. And it might be a WRL team, but I'm putting my hopes on the WCS region as well. We're going to toss it back over to the upgraded, again, Ice Cold D-Gun. That's why he's got his jacket back on. The Ice Cold D-Gun and the rest of the panel to break down Nova's incredible win in the group stages. Ice Cold.
There it is. Yeah, that's right. We're ice cold here on the desk, our noise analyst desk here with Riku and TJ. There we go. Those are the noises that Nova made as they took care of business against Leviathan. Leviathan again with another attempt to the WOL #1 squad. TJ!
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Class is in session.
Sorry.
Thomas James, don't make me use your last name. Mr. Esports, Thomas James Esports over here, TJ, esportstj.com. As Nova, again, take care of business. Long was tried to set behind here, but to no avail. A lane swap in this game is how it started.
Riku's not available. I can do that.
Yeah, let him go first.
All right, TJ, you go first.
It looked better for Leviathan. I think, again, you could see they were coming in with a game plan, and it was, again, what can we do against Long? That early jungle invade was really fun. Problem is, they took a buff, and then Long took a champion and a turret in response at 2 minutes into the game, and that just about sums up how lethal Nova look right now.
Yeah, it feels like you cannot give a First Blood tower to Nova at all. The way that they take advantage of the gold lead that they
This
get.
was it?
Yeah, that was it, right?
2 minutes.
2 minutes in, and it was always Remake and Yami just tagging along with the Jax, and therefore accelerating the growth of Long, and therefore he can whack at anybody and win any skirmishes.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that just made it so difficult. There were a couple of attempts to hold on for a little bit longer by Leviathan, but Nova just comprehensive victory here, Remake landing these bindings over and over again, and they just got a super comp in the draft.
I actually really liked a lot of the things Leviathan went for in this mid-game. They had like a couple of fights in the top side that looked really good. Once again, you can see what the WL does so well, what Leviathan and many of the players on it who are veterans have done so well for a while, which is put together these team fights. They have a really fun composition, they know how to use it in the fight, and they're just getting crushed by Nova on the map. One of the things that Nova do very well during this game that you can see many of the other WRL teams do as well, but Long and Nova in particular, is lane ganks, which is a bread and butter fundamental of WRL play. They know how to get into a lane and dig a player out from behind a turret with surgical precision.
And it's crazy too, they have a lot of tools to do that. There's the Hexic Ultimatum into the final chapter. They get the same combo again from game number 1. I can tell that you're really having fun with the pen catching thing after you say a point, TJ.
I dropped it earlier. So I'm rolling now.
You're rolling, you're fine.
It's like bottle flipping.
It was just the one time.
Just the one time.
And it was off camera.
It was off camera.
Sorry, Riku, you were making a very good
Not
point.
a record. But again, yeah, TJ, just as what you said, it is that lane gank and how they further that lead. I feel like 3k gold lead is enough for Nova to be extra aggressive, visit every single lane, get more kills, get more gold, and win the game.
Very much, I like your point there, TJ, about how you can surgically do a tower dive, because they basically did tower dives at the same time on the top side of the map by Leviathan. Not possible. And again, a little bit harder target in Camille compared to on the bottom side of the map against a Garen. Nova able to get that kill. That led to the turret, that led to the gold lead and everything else and beyond, as you saw the gold chart there. And now you see the damage charts. By far, it's Long leading the way.
Yeah, and so much of the way that they played around the Jax was really impressive to me, because Jax during the early game doesn't do a lot of damage. So what are you doing when you have to gank something like Garen? Well, you're using him as guaranteed CC. You're saying, okay, well, we can get this done.
Guaranteed.
Yeah!
Thank you. Riku looked at me on that one, so I had to go
you
call
wanna-
it out. Do a pen flip. I'll wait for it. Come back.
Put it
Yeah.
back to
Yeah, we
Yeah.
camera first.
And using him as guaranteed CC, they were able to start the fight.
Guaranteed CC.
Give it one more. That
All right, there we go.
count.
Guaranteed CC.
Yeah.
There you go, TJ.
Oh,
Guaranteed CC!
panic right there.
Love it.
But yes, they'd use that early on to allow the other champions to do the damage there.
right. And the way that they were starting fights with that is very scary, because it requires Long to fully commit under the tower, get in melee range. But because he had the Counter-Strike active, he was able to do that. So you have this kind of melee frontliner that's drawing focus, that's drawing spells, ending with a stun. And then you follow it up, and it's just very well coordinated.
It's so crazy too. The Morgana is right there for the Black Shield, so Long can basically do anything he wants once he jumps back in. And the fact that they can combo the final chapter as well, hold people down, it's just really good execution, really good draft, and very huge confidence from Nova.
And with that victory, Nova then lines up against the team that we might think could take down a WRL squad
Yeah.
in the #1 seed from Southeast Asia in Team Flash. That's going to be a very big matchup here in the group stage. And then on the bottom side of the bracket, T1 and Leviathan fighting for their Icons 2022 lives here.
And that'll be really fun as well, because Leviathan do have strengths kind of exactly where T1 have been messing up. And I think T1 are going to try and play the macro, are going to try and play the spread map. They've looked pretty solid at that over the course of the tournament. Where they've floundered has been exactly where Leviathan just looked good, which is in the fights, which is communication in those very messy team fights. I think Leviathan can get the edge there.
All right, well, with that, up next, Korea's #1 team takes on the Brazilian squad that ended North America's Sentinels run, and Rolster Y and Liberty are coming up after the short break. See you in a little bit.
there's something about games.
What you doing there gives you real chills.
There is one thing that can't be stopped.
Feelings. And if you can feel it,
It must be real, right?
that's
That's real magic.
Yeah. Bang. Boom. Let 'em know. Who you rockin' with? Who you rockin' with? Who you rockin' with? Woo. Way too hot. Just can't stop. Way too hot. Just can't stop. Way too hot. Just can't stop. Way too hot. Come through like boom pow. All I ever hear is ooh wow. Turn your neighborhood into a boom town. Next stop headed to the moon now. Ooh wow. Got wins by the boatload, way too hot. I need a couple more cause I just can't stop. Put the ball in my hands, watch I'ma make it pop. Guaranteed every time I hear the beat drop like way too hot. Just can't stop.